we're going to dive deep into this mystical and often misunderstood world of crypto.
Crypto is the future of money.
How would you explain to me what crypto is?
We are trying to build something that you can pay for your coffee with it.
What about crazy stories that people forgot their passwords, lost millions?
No wallets have access to your belongings if it's a cold wallet.
We had this influx of crypto millionaires in Dubai. How did they get rich?
This guy made $100 into $100,000.
I'm convinced I want to go into that. How much will I have?
6,000 today would be something around 30 to 40K, which is a good investment.
Okay, like from tomorrow, I'm going to put $100 a month.
Yeah.
Now, where do I put it? Hi guys, welcome to our new episode, Brands Through Stories. In this episode, we're going to dive deep into this mystical and often misunderstood world of crypto. And please, my friends, don't turn this episode off, because this is exactly for you. Those who completely ignore that world, those friends who say they don't understand it, but somewhere really deep inside you, you wished you do. I want this episode to be like a cheat sheet for all of us who are at this stage of saying, no, that's not for me. So at least when we hear the word crypto at the table, we know what to say. And on this journey, I thought, who could help me to navigate that crazy world? I found the best person. His name is Reza Ghiasi. He's the CEO of global crypto exchange YEX. And he promised me that he'll make this journey very simple and easy for us. So please, if you like this episode, please hit the like button, leave your comments, and of course, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you. Hi, Reza. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Nina. Thank you so much for having me here.
It's going to be probably for you, I don't know, probably a little bit of a naive and silly conversation because...
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
You probably deal with all this crypto enthusiasts every day.
That is true, but in fact, one of my biggest arguments always is why it's not simple or why it's not even simplified. So I have to be on your side because that's the most important thing we're following. We just want to create something simple. We don't want those confusions.
Cool. Okay, so let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
My first question is very simple. Is this true that crypto is the future money for us?
Well, I should say yes. It is very true because there are things in traditional form of finance that we no longer need and is no longer serving. So we need something new. We need something that is capable of handling all the financial aspects and needs that we have these days. So yes, crypto is the future of money.
So could we say that in about, 10 years, we'll pay for our coffee in some crypto coins?
You can do it now even.
Really?
Yes. There are some certain tools, some certain solutions that now you can use crypto to pay with your debit cards. These solutions are in use, but still complicated. So yes, you can do that. Depends on which country you are living in.
So we are in Dubai, so in the UAE. And a lot of my subscribers also, they live in Saudi Arabia, in this region. Can we do it here? Is that how you pay for your coffee? For your
Interesting
petrol?
question. Yes, I do sometimes. Well, I rather do all my finances in crypto. So that's been for years that I'm doing now. I used to use other methods. Now there are solutions, as I told you. You can connect your crypto with your debit card and you can just easily spend. It's even faster than normal banking, to be honest. So yes. And UAE, for a fact, because you mentioned the name of the country and beautiful Dubai, UAE in fact became a good hub and is becoming a premier of a place that is actually a good hub for crypto. So it's a very crypto-friendly nation. It's a good place to grow. And I think one of the fast-forwarding places that is improving in terms of crypto usages. Yeah.
Before we're going to go into this theory, I want to ask you, I know that you are actually a musician.
Yes.
So, leaving that beautiful world of music and going into this beautiful world as tech.
There was it.
Why did you do that? Is it because you wanted a lot of money? Because that's how it looks from outside. That crypto millionaires, Rolex and Rolls Royces. Is that why you left beautiful musical world?
Well, I have to open up a story for you then.
Okay.
So I think in life there are moments that are not very pleasant. Some issues pop up in your life, something happens, and specifically in terms of finances, I found an issue. My father was basically helping me during my studies, and then suddenly everything has stopped because of his bankruptcy. At the time, it was really difficult for me. It was tough to deal with the situation, but then I thought, what to do? You have to leave. So that pain moment, that moment that you fall into misery, for some people are like, why am I into this situation? But now when I look back at it, that was my turning point. That was the point that I was not at the right place. Why? Not because of Rolexes, which basically...
You still don't have one.
I don't have one. Well, I used to have one, but no longer. And the reason is I don't fancy things that are not aligning with my mentality. But I do like to live not a luxury, not let's say life in a good quality. Let's call it that way. So that's picture that you have in mind. You only see it on social media, and I have to be very honest with you. That's not the main thing that this industry is bringing to us. That's not the main thing that this industry is gifting us. Which, by the way, nowadays is a good time to jump in because it's an opportunity. Why not? If you can get a Rolex from it, would you say no?
Why not, right?
Yes, why not? Would you say no to it and ignore
I
it?
have other dreams.
Okay, I'm just bringing it up.
Say no to that.
Yes, exactly.
So that was the turning point. So actually it was from a difficult financial situation, you look into the diversifying, probably looking for income, right? And
True.
you've opened this new world.
True, exactly. I started from sales into a stock exchange, basically, and slowly turned to understand crypto. And at the beginning, I used to hear rumors. I exactly remember those days. People were like, what is this? Where's my money? I need my cash. I need it in my bank account. And there were not much of ways that you can actually use crypto. So it was just a number out of thin air, which basically is a technology which is so deep and, to be honest, I think is one of the most complicated things that humans ever created. So, but people came to this point that they didn't understand it. So they were giving names to it. This is good for drugs. This is good for stealing from people. This is good for scamming. This is not right. This is not the correct money. This is not something that I can use it. Yes, these names were there. But then I went to the path of studying it, understanding it, and then things turned to a different way.
Okay, let's help us then to demystify it.
Okay.
We start from a very simple thing. If I were a 80s type of businessman who loves still the fax machine, how would you explain to me what crypto is?
Well, I tried that actually for a fact to my grandfather. When I was explaining it to my grandfather, he was like, "Are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? US dollar is backed by US government. What are you talking about? You're talking about something that doesn't exist and you believe it's going to have value." So yes, you are correct. And that makes it very complicated. And that's actually the argument that I brought up to you at the beginning. Yeah. Do you use crypto?
So I in this conversation, I have to probably be on my friend's side and pretend like I really don't understand anything. But I'm a bit further in my life now. So me personally, I don't do anything with crypto, but my husband does. And that way he covers that part. So I'm on my journey of actually understanding that world better. So I'll be able to actually work in that world.
Well, that is our issue. That is the builder's issue. So we didn't build things that people use. That's the most important issue. I don't need to explain someone from 80s what is Bitcoin. I don't need to explain to them how does it work. Let me give you an example. When you turn on the light, do you know what is happening inside of the wires? What actions happening inside of it? No, you just push the button and the lights goes on. Am I right? So we still haven't created something very simplified for users to use, basically, and that's the most important issue. Which, I mean, in our company, we are trying to build something that are usable for people on a daily basis, something that you can pay for your coffee with it. So that's our aim. We don't want to do things that are out of extraordinary, which nowadays, whenever you hear the name of crypto, you go on a platform, on a website, whatever you see is thousands of options, thousands of names, thousands of weird menus popping up into your face, and you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
That makes it complicated. That makes it in a way that's, okay, I don't want to use this. This is not for me. But if it's simplified, if it's something that you can pay for your coffee with,
yeah,
I think it would be something interesting to even learn or understanding.
I think what you've said about your grandfather is that thing. There is money, dollars, and you can touch it. And you could put it in your wallet, and thicker your wallet is, filled with that, is better you feel, probably, if safer you feel. Here it's like,
you really do
where
save?
am I touching? Where is it? It's not in the bank. It doesn't has weird names. So I think this is really where the complication.
Let me explain it in this way then, which makes it really understandable. Are you familiar with the with the devaluation of money?
Yeah.
Do you feel that in society? Do you have that in whenever you're spending money?
Yeah. I think every time I go to the store today, I see
something is more expensive. And you have to spend more. Am I right?
Yeah.
So one of the reasons that happens is because central banks have the authority to basically print money. And this is for a fact that something that causes a lot of inflation, and we face a lot of expenses, and we feel like, okay, I'm improving in life, which you are not. You're basically devaluating. Even if you earn more money, even if your belongings have more value, still you're basically fighting something called inflation. Fighting something that is increasing. Why? Because there is every day more money coming into these finances, coming into this world that you cannot do anything about it. You cannot control it, and there's nothing about it to be done or to be solved. So one of the issues that Bitcoin, for example, I call it Bitcoin because only Bitcoin does this, no other currencies.
Right.
So one of the things that Bitcoin is solving is basically an anti-inflation asset. So when you're holding Bitcoin, you're not holding money. Yes, correct. You're not having a tangible physical thing in your hand, which these days with the wallets and physical wallets, you can still have a more sense of basically touching this money. But still, yes, you are right. It's in computers. It's encrypted and people can't really touch it, really is not tangible, but you are getting values that are much better than keeping your old paper money. And I guarantee you there is no safety in keeping cash. I guarantee you that.
No.
Before used to be much better.
Yeah.
Before used to be even a good thing to keep cash, but they used to say cash is king. Now I have to change that statement to Bitcoin
is the king. Yeah. So, okay. So that helps us with inflation. It feels like, yes, we can't touch it, but with the digital wallets and so on, we can't really touch it, but it's there. What about crazy stories that people forgot their passwords and lost millions?
That happens.
I always forget my password.
That happens. You are 100% right. Let me tell you what happened. So Prior to this, let's say 5-6 years down the line, when there were not much of tech and not much of devices that can help us to control a wallet, there was always issues that people used to face, similar to what you're just trying to mention. So people used to have different sort of wallets that some of them they no longer exist, or they no longer are user friendly, and they somehow lost it. So yes, that was an issue. Nowadays, when you have a physical wallet, how do you want to lose that? Even if you lose the physical wallet, there is always a recovery key that you can keep it somewhere hidden in a box, in a safe box. Or I know ladies are very good at hiding things, but so you can always hide it somewhere and you'll never lose it. So there are always better ways to recover things.
So talk me through the process then. So you have a digital wallet, and now you can have a physical analog of it, right?
True.
So if this physical is being stolen, will my coins disappear?
No,
crypto?
they don't. That wallet does not keep anything of yours.
Okay.
It's just a way to access your wallet.
Access. Okay, right.
No wallets have access to your belongings if it's a cold wallet. They don't. They are not working like a memory that can hold your assets. They don't. The memory basically works on a decentralized ledger. So it will never be stolen. It can never be recovered by anyone else unless you give them access to. So that device is just to have access to that specific wallet with a private key. So if you lose it by any chance, when you're installing it, you basically have to write 12 words. This is the most basic form of encryption, basically. So you have to write these words, and whenever you want to recover the device, you need to have those 12 words. If you lose those 12 words, you can still recover it with the device. But if you lose both,
then you lost the money.
Yes.
But then you would be very stupid to lose everything.
But let me ask you another question. Don't you see any frauds happening in banking? Have you ever heard the stories?
I think it's insane what's going on now.
Yes. Have you ever heard the stories that people are losing their money? Someone is stealing it from their bank account. So it's a very common thing and human factor. We cannot control the whole 100% of security, and by a fact and by mathematics I can prove that even in this case still Bitcoin is safer.
Right. Now, talking about all the cryptocurrencies, now what do we have? How are they classified? What do we have there? What kind of, because it feels like there are millions. Anyone can have a...
Well, yes, that is true. We have two types of cryptocurrencies only. So we have Bitcoin and altcoins. So Bitcoin is Bitcoin. You can never, you see the beauty of Bitcoin is nobody controls it. Nobody has authority over Bitcoin. It's basically created in that way. Nobody even know who created it. Yes, there is a name of Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knows, even if it's a person, it's a group, woman, women, men, I don't know. Nobody knows
this
actually.
This sounds really mysterious, right? I don't know. It sounds like, what kind of alien is
Well, it seems like a god. God is mysterious.
Yes.
It's a god of finance. Anyway, I'm kidding. So the thing is, yes, it is mysterious, and but the technology itself, if I want to, because I promised you not to make it complicated.
Yes.
I would keep it that way. The tech itself been built in a way that is not only looking at one aspect, okay? It's basically mathematics, it's cybersecurity, it's finances, it's inflation, it's computer science. Everything has been implemented into this. So now to categorize them, let's put Bitcoin aside, and then we have others called altcoins. I remember back then there was like 20 or 30 coins in 2013, 2014. Then slowly the list went on and on. Everybody used to come with big ideas. I remember in 2015, 2016, there were companies popping up around that they had big ideas, and they had to have this massive amount of fundings, like 50, 60 millions in a day. And then slowly the trend changed to become smaller companies with a smaller goals, with the smaller solutions. They used to have like a couple of million of funds, and then NFTs came along, which they were promising something else. Then virtual lands came along, that they had this
metaverse
and these sort of things. They had a different approach, and then nowadays we have meme coins. So you see, even the trend shows me one thing, that people want simple things. Now, every second there are few coins generating. So I cannot really tell you.
Every second,
yes, I cannot tell you how many coins are being generated. Every second there are few coins generating. So anyone can do it. It takes less than a minute actually to create a token. But what makes a coin valuable, that's a different story. So meme coins have no objective.
What is meme coin, if we were to
well, meme coins referring to a coin generally called Dogecoin. If you are familiar with the concept of Twitter, Elon Musk used to promote Dogecoin. Dogecoin was basically a joke created out of a joke, basically.
Is that what U.S. president was created recently?
No, that's Trump.
I'm afraid to use the names in case if they block.
No, we will
stay away from politics by not mentioning any names.
We will get that to that point as well. So Dogecoin was a joke basically between two developers. They created a coin, called it Dogecoin.
Okay.
And that was let's say, the father of meme tokens.
And what happened to that coin?
It's still existing, it's still trading. It has a very good volume. It actually generated a good amount of wealth for a lot of people, to be honest. But nobody thought it would reach to that point.
So what was the joke about it then?
It was about basically the technology, that it's not going to be used for anything, but still people are going to use it. So Dogecoin had no objective at the beginning. It had no idea behind it. It had no solution. It was just a currency that was created, and they believed people are going to use it. Well, people used it.
So if we could go backwards, step back again one more time. So there is a coin. So let's say we take Bitcoin. Behind Bitcoin, there's a whole, technology, blockchain technology. The whole infrastructure is quite very sophisticated, right? And there is a purpose behind it, and so on. Why would people invest in it, right? Then, if I create my own coin, what do I do? Do I need to create my own infrastructure, or I based it on some others? People's blockchains?
Okay, if you want to create an infrastructure, you will be very deep into technology, because it's a very difficult and complicated solution to be built. So nowadays there are a lot of different solutions and a lot of different lands that you can build your house on. So if you want to create a token, it takes you, let's say, 30 seconds. If you want to build a blockchain or a solution or an infrastructure, that takes maybe years, even though, look at the solutions that we have right now. Every day a new one comes, a better one comes, because still we are in a very early stage, and none of them are scalable. They cannot have this ability to give access to everybody on this planet. So every day something new comes along. So the difference between Web 2, I'm referring to the infrastructures that have servers and it's centralized basically. The difference between centralized and decentralized world is, in centralized world, there is always a backend that deals with all the complications, deals with all of these hassles, and then the user have the ease to basically use something. But in Web3 and in decentralized world, that's the difficult part. You need to take care of everything basically as a user. You need to interact with the blockchain. You need to. So developers are trying to create things that are making it easy. So we will eventually get to that point. But for creating a token, yes, you need to build it on someone else's infrastructure.
And there are different infrastructure exists?
Yes.
Or it's just the one that is, what is it, Ethereum? Or
I will tell you. So the function of creating a token is basically a very basic function. It's a smart contract. You create a contract. It's a standard contract, and every blockchain has its own way of creating tokens. For example, Ethereum is one of them. We have Polygon or Matic, some people call it. We have Sui network these days. We have Solana. So you can create tokens on any of them. Yep.
Right. So the fact is that anyone can create a token.
But why?
But why? So is that important to know why?
That is important. That is very important. Well, I told you, every second there are coins that have been created. Do you hear their names?
No, I only hear a couple of names. That's it.
That's the thing.
In general.
That's the thing. And imagine, you see, this is the marketing word. I like meme tokens, not because I never made money into them, and I never went through them. I only like them because it's easy and it's attracting people in. So it's basically a very easy way for people to understand crypto. And I think whoever made this a trend was a marketing genius.
All right.
They used it as a way to unlock people's mind. What are people looking for? Something to make money, something to laugh about. What are memes about? Something to make money, something to laugh about. So they create these tokens and they start creating memes around it. And that's why they call it meme token, by the way. They create memes around it. They put a funny name. They put funny pictures around. And people like to play around with these things and they gain some money around it.
This sounds like it's for, I don't know, TikTokers without 20 plus years old gamers.
Well,
it really doesn't sound like 40 plus people very skeptical about everything what's going on. Or so how do I earn money on meme coins? I hear some singer is, launching coin, I quickly buy it and sell it next day. Is that how it works?
Well, used to be a longer period of time, but nowadays, unfortunately, yes.
Over the day even should be.
Sometimes it takes hours. So what happens, there are a lot of launch pads nowadays in the space. What happens is they promote these tokens not for hours, not even for days, for minutes, basically. So you will be on top of the list for minutes, so then you will be gone. So for example, for the US president case that created a token, because there is a huge amount of, let's say, coverage on social media, there are a lot of people who have an eye on that. So the more attraction it gets, the longer this period goes. The higher the price will go. So the demand will be created like an explosion to something.
Right.
So if I create a meme token and I don't have any social media
capital,
then it will not take much of value and people will never come into it. But if I have a good amount of data or good amount of social media engagement, I think it's a good idea to have a meme token. Yes, it might be positive, negative, I don't know. But something that I'm against, there are unethical things to do in this, which is something like rug pull. Rug pull refers to a moment that people pour money into a pool, and then the one who created the token will actually take the whole amount of liquidity out of the token. These are
then what happened? No one gets anything, or what's the?
Yes, no one gets anything. Only the person who created it will basically take out all the liquidity. But at the moment, there are solutions. So whenever you want to trade meme tokens, this is actually something that you guys need to keep an eye on. Whenever you want to trade meme tokens, make sure that the liquidity tokens has been burned. We call it LP token. So there are some tools like DEX Screener. You can check the website and see if the token LP token has been burnt or not. They will actually verify it for you. So this is a way that you are sure that the money will not disappear in a second.
Well, it sounds like a lottery a little bit with that thing. Maybe a little bit more chances of winning. Right. Okay. So let's start then from the beginning. Okay, I'm convinced. I want to go into that. I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to go into this meme coins, but probably something more stable.
A very good point. My suggestion is by mathematics, by far, I can guarantee that if you have put $100 a month into this, let's say for the past 5 years, that would be 60 months or $6,000 of investment into something. Every month, $100 would not bite anybody. Will not. Nobody will lose their life over it. But that 6,000 today would be something around 30 to 40K, which is a good investment.
Okay, let me write it down. So from tomorrow, I'm going to put $100 a month.
Yeah.
Now, where do I put it?
Into Bitcoin. That's my suggestion.
Into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Where do I find it?
You can buy it from any sort of exchange, any sort of wallets. Nowadays, you can use your debit card to purchase Bitcoin.
So I open the wallet, right? And I open it how? Through exchange, crypto exchange?
The easiest wallet that you can use these days is Trust Wallet. They have the menu of buy Bitcoin. You can just click into it, key in your debit card, buy as much as you want.
I go there, I register, and then there's an option buy
There's
Bitcoin.
no register.
There's no register.
It's a self-custody wallet, which means you will have 12 words. You need to store those 12 words. Make sure you don't lose it, unless you'll be out of custody. So once you have those, then you can purchase your Bitcoin. Yeah.
I put my 12 words, I get into that, I press the menu, I buy Bitcoin.
Yes.
And on $100.
Yeah, my suggestion is, I mean, this is for a normal person that works on a very low budget. This is like the lowest way that you can think about. And don't think that you have that money.
Just, I forget it for how many years?
5-6 years.
5-6 years. Okay. This is my retirement plan, okay? Okay, 5-6 years. Then what will I see in 6 years?
Well, eventually, I can see that Bitcoin gonna be a very, let's say, strong currency or a strong hold of value. But there are risks around it as well. So this I have to mention. When we put something into Bitcoin, there are some factors that might take Bitcoin out of place or out of picture, but are only in theory. In terms of actuality, is not really happening. But we have to consider that there is a risk of 0.01% for some theory to become an actual event. Okay, so my understanding is we will see $1 million Bitcoin. We will see even maybe more than $1 million worth of Bitcoin. But for Bitcoin to reach to that point, there will be a lot of ups and downs. And these downs are a good time to get in and just forget about the money that you have.
Is down now? Because
I think we will not see anything below 70K anymore, I believe.
Today is what?
And before this, I think it was 99, 100, like an hour ago.
And an hour ago? Right. So shall I start today or tomorrow?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Okay. So I put there, now let's say it goes crazy up. Okay. What's the next? How do I take it out? Let's say it hit the numbers that are incredible.
You can sell your Bitcoin to any fiat currencies anywhere you are living.
So fiat currency is when I can exchange my crypto coin to the normal money, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I can do it anytime.
Anytime.
So I put today 100. Tomorrow I want to take my 95. I take it.
Anytime.
My God, I can do it.
Yes.
I go to exchange.
You can use any local exchange that is basically operating in the country that you are at that moment and transfer it, make it into fiat, do whatever with it.
Is there like a percentage they hold because of the...
Normally in crypto, the percentages are very little. So for example, exchanges are 0.1%, even lower than that. So for changing crypto to fiat is even lower than that. It's basically, if I'm not mistaken, 0.01%. So you don't pay much on these sort of exchanges. It's not a huge amount of money, and it's faster, it's easier, it's always in hand. Yeah.
So, I forgot to hear the answer. So, in 6 years, by putting 100, how much will I have?
I can't give you a number, but if you want it to be very stable, let's say you might see somewhere between 40 to 60 in 6-7 years.
$40,000 to $60,000 from my.
From your $6,000-7,000, yes.
That sounds like a good investment.
It's
If
a
straight
perfect
away,
investment.
Yeah, straight away I want to put 1,000 there rather
see?
than 100. That's
Well,
it.
that's
now
what we
it
call-
started.
That's what we call FOMO, or fear of missing out.
Yes.
Well, you see, there's one point I need to mention. There is something we call do your own research, or DIOR. So do your own research is a very important factor, because when you get into Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure that Bitcoin is a standard. There's no issues with Bitcoin. But people tend to become very interested about other coins. Why?
Yes.
Because they see growth.
Yeah.
They see, they hear myth, they hear stories. They go on social media, they hear this guy made $100
Yeah.
into $100,000. And the first thing that you think about is, why am I buying Bitcoin, $100 of Bitcoin, and I'm not buying $100 of this coin to make it $100,000? Well, the bad news is hunting that token will take you forever. Probably.
Because you need a lot of research, or
not a lot of research. You need to burn a lot of resources in order to understand what is happening in the world of meme tokens, and be very lucky to get into a very small percentage of people, or change your perspective and become a marketer, create a community, and then from there create your own token, then create wealth.
Sounds like a lot of work.
To
get my Rolex.
So if that's we were talking about the most basic and the
most basic, yes.
Yeah, and most stable one.
Right.
If you want to go a bit faster, I would suggest make your budget a bit bigger. Make it like $200-300 per month, and then the 50% of it. Put it in Bitcoin, and another 50% play around. See which coins have potential, which coins tend to have...
Where do I see it?
Well, you can see attraction.
Right.
When you go on a website like CoinMarketCap, for example, you can see that top 100 tokens, top 20, 200 tokens. And you can do a bit of research, look at the project, see what are they promising, what are they delivering. What is it? Is it going to be an actual solution that is building up, or is it just something that is...
So talk us through this kind of, what is that thing? What solutions? What tokens are promising? What is it?
Very good. So, for example, moving money around always been a hassle. For example, if you want to send money from UAE to a different country, it's always a big issue.
Yeah.
Some of these companies promise to make that simpler on crypto. So, for example, some of them say we help you to transact on a instant matter. So you can basically move money from this country to a different country. We do have actually that. It's instantly. So if a company promises that, that's a good solution. If a company promises that we're going to make a scalability bigger, that's a good solution. But you need to understand what is scalability.
What's their plan, right?
What is their plan? Who are they? So, and not every company who claims that they are like Bitcoin and they don't want to reveal themselves are going to be a good company. This is a sort of a kind of a scam, to call it.
Yeah, and I had a question here. What's the biggest scam you have that actually is?
Well, in crypto, there was a project called OneCoin. That was the biggest scam. They 2014, 2015, they raised about $5 billion. And the owner, which was a woman, actually, a Russian, I'm not sure from the country, please remove that.
We're gonna cut this because I'm a woman from Russia.
Yes. Nobody could find her afterwards. She just vanished, and
very intelligent women, right?
Yes,
in
actually.
Russia.
And
what happened with that? What did she do?
Well, they started with this very huge events, gala dinners, and those sort of things. And then they started to creating FOMO.
Here?
Not here.
Not here. Okay.
No, on a global scale. I
Okay.
remember in whole Europe, Asia, there were events that thousands of people used to go and buy tokens on a spot. And you see, I believe the biggest motive is dream, is hope.
Yeah.
So when you sell hope to people, you're basically selling the product. So they understood that point and they started selling hope.
And what was the hope for? To become rich, or
I'll
what?
tell you what
To
was
help?
the hope.
Okay.
Bitcoin was about less than $1 when it started, like fraction of dollar basically.
Yeah.
And then it went up to $80, $90, I remember, at this point when these companies started. And from that point of price went to 250, 260. So people didn't have the mentality or the belief that Bitcoin gonna even go higher.
Yeah.
Or what actually will be a good product or a good company or a good crypto to invest in. So when somebody comes to them and tells them this is the next Bitcoin,
Right.
they would think about it. Okay, if it's starting from a fraction of a dollar,
Yeah.
this is actually the meme tokens ideology at the moment as well. If it's starting from a very small amount of money, I'm sure it's going to rise and become like Bitcoin. So I'm going to be rich.
Right.
So this was the hope. This was the story behind all of these scams.
So they've created these events worldwide, right?
Yes.
And people went buying it.
Crazy.
And then what happened?
And then someday the girl vanished. Nobody.
She just vanished?
She just vanished.
With all the money?
With all the money. Nobody ever seen her again.
Oh, wow. So so you've said how we could protect ourselves from this. With the liquidity, what is it called? You said liquid. What was the protection mechanism?
That was for tokens. Basically, LP tokens have been burnt.
Right.
Means in this case, it's a different story.
Okay.
Yeah, but for now, if you want to invest into meme tokens, make sure the LP token is burnt.
Right.
Like the owner has no authority over the liquidity.
And with that story, with the crazy one, what is it called?
OneCoin?
OneCoin, yeah. How could we, how to protect that there will be no...
Very good question. Study the project. That's my main point. Just someone telling you that this is the next Bitcoin doesn't make it the next Bitcoin. You need to understand. And to be honest, my suggestion to everybody is to at least read the white paper of Bitcoin. It's 10 pages. It's very simple. Forget about the mathematic formulas that has been written into it. Just see what solution Bitcoin is resolving. Actually, Bitcoin is very far from what's been promised, because Bitcoin's initial promise was to give a solution to a small payments over internet. Okay, that was the solution that Bitcoin wanted to solve. So the issue was, I wanted to send you money on internet. I couldn't do it because let's say $5 to $10 wasn't easily to use banks. So Bitcoin was created for that. And then when it scaled a bit, people saw that, okay, Bitcoin is not as fast as we wanted it, because every transaction takes a couple of minutes. A couple of minutes is considered to be a long time when we need things instantly. So then they saw that, okay, Bitcoin is good, but in other terms, it's safe, it's secure. If I want to give you an example in actual word, I could say Bitcoin was acting or behaving like gold. You cannot use gold as a...
I can't sell gold.
You can sell it and you can use the money, but you cannot send it.
Send the gold instantly.
But in Bitcoin, you can send it. But the thing is, Bitcoin behavior was a bit different. So people could see that Bitcoin is good for having the capability of value. It can store value. It can give an appreciating value, which that was the case.
I want to ask you this thing that fascinated me. So we had this influx of crypto millionaires in Dubai, right? They all look young. They're all young. They're all like yachts, right? And good cars. But really, how did they get rich? Really? Is that true? They truly got rich? Or majority of them is a show off trying to... What is that thing? It's definitely not the strategy of $100
It's definitely not. Yes.
Right?
So
what is there?
we talked about the safest and most stable way.
Yes.
If you want to go and change this aspect and look at it in a way that I want to be rich, or I want to make this as a job, there are other names or other job vacancies that you can fill.
Okay.
For example, become a trader.
Right.
So becoming a trader definitely requires an amount of investment, not only money, but time. You need to have at least, this is something that I can guarantee. You need to have a background of 2-3 years at least working as a trader to understand what this market does, and you need to study it at least for a couple of years. So then with an amount of investment you can start. Yes, there are people who made a fortune on trading. There are people that basically created things, that created wealth actually. This is one thing that I can suggest. Second thing is to become basically someone who creates an idea and work on that idea, create a product that works with this. So if I want to give you an aspect, let's go back 20 years. 2005, 2006, people were getting rich from applications. People were getting rich from creating WhatsApp. You remember the days that WhatsApp came up. Nobody used it. So the trends are changing. The way people are making money becoming different. So back then, nobody thought WhatsApp would make money because WhatsApp was not charging people. They were charging people $1, but that was not how they were making money. How they made money was out of people's data, okay? Which I definitely don't want to go through that, but crypto has its own trend as well. Nowadays, I can see AI is becoming a thing, you know? But to be honest, I don't like to enter AI aspect because it's a bit scary for me.
Because you don't understand it and you just ignore that world.
It's for a matter of fact, I use AI, but actually we are developing an AI agent, an AI personal agent for YEX actually, that users can have personal data stored on their phone using AI, not giving their data either to us or anyone else, like any other company in AI. So we value that privacy, and we want to give it to them as a way to be able to use, basically imagine when you want to send money, you just ask your AI to do it for you. And it's your personal AI, is not going to share your data anywhere else. It's an AI agent. So this is something that we are working on right now.
Wow.
And soon it will be basically ready. So my main objective about AI is, I don't enter this world because it's... Well, I just said that we have a small vision about it, but I don't want to compete in this world because the resources that other companies have are unlimited. And if you want to get into this, you need unlimited resources.
Right.
And for now, it's too big to enter for me.
Right. Well, wow, that was so insightful. I just want to get some kind of... maybe summary or some insights just to clarify again. Yes, so, and you correct me if I'm wrong on that journey.
Sure.
Okay, the first one, yes, crypto is the future money.
Of course.
If it's not even already today. For some people, it's today.
Mm-hmm.
Very close, very near future.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can buy coffee with my crypto, right?
Well, I can invite you for a coffee now and we pay with crypto.
Excellent. Then it's no good to just ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. It's good to at least read the white paper.
Very good. Yeah.
Bitcoin white paper.
Yes.
Ignore the mathematics in this, but at least understand a couple of pages from that.
Exactly.
Right? And if you want to try, it's not just for the 20 years old crypto enthusiasts and tech savvy people. Mm-hmm. It could be for grandparents also.
Exactly.
It's not like you forgot your password and you lost all your money that you saved, correct?
Correct, 100%.
All you need to remember is 12 words.
You don't need to remember it, you just need to write it.
Right. And and it's why not trying it, right? Put 100, and if you want to play very, very safe, very, very safe, put $100 and forget about them. But every
Exactly.
month, put $100 and see at least in a year's time what's going to be there.
Exactly.
If you want to invest in any other coins, tokens, read about them.
Exactly.
Read about the founders, the solution behind them, right?
Let me add one more
Yes,
small
please.
thing to this.
Yeah.
Don't get emotional about or rational about making a decision on buying a coin that you don't know.
Right.
That's very important.
Right. How do I just evaluate if I like it?
You need to understand it.
Yeah.
If you think rational and you just decide that you want to do this, you do it right away, you might lose your capital.
Right. I already feel like I'm gonna run home and open the wallet now. Why not?
Why not?
I mean, really, $100. Yes,
Why
it's
not?
a lot of money probably for some people, but $100 I think I could risk, but not more. For now.
That's look.
Let me start
That's
with that.
That's pretty much up to the standard any individual. So
Yes.
I named $100. Somebody might do it with 20. Still doesn't really make a difference. The difference is you take care of your finances. So any individual understands their own finances better than any outsider. So think about it. If 20 is fine with you, just do 20. At least you do some savings, because this would be the future and you need to take care of it.
Wow. I think this is very insightful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I would like to ask you one question.
Please.
I ask all my guests this question. Let's say if you believe in God, the universe, wherever you believe in, God gives you a superpower, is able to give you a superpower tomorrow for you as an entrepreneur. What superpower would you want to receive?
Well, this is a very good question, actually. I used to remember. I used to watch a program when I was a kid. I don't know if you've seen it or not, or anyone else. It was called Bernard's Watch.
No, I haven't watched it.
You should see it. So Bernard was a character, a kid that had a watch, which whenever he touches this watch, everything would be like, suddenly everything would stop. Time would stop. So I would love to have that watch.
This is so beautiful.
Yes.
This is so true. This is so true. I thought you would say, I don't know, prediction of how much Bitcoin is going to be.
No.
But I think as people, if we could just stop the time, this is exactly what I wish for.
Yeah,
But
cannot be. But anyway, it's just a thought,
I have this watch now that one of my previous guests actually was talking about the high performance, and he showed me this stopwatch. It's not stopwatch, it's actually the high performance thing, 10, 30, 65 minutes that you could put on it, and then it goes backwards, right? From 60 to 59, and that way you can control your time. And I put that thing for 10 minutes, and I see it's less, and I was thinking, oh my God, my life. It's less.
It's just passing.
It's just passing. And I had such a fear. I was looking, less, 1 second less, again less. It's really created a lot of fear for me.
True.
So I think I would also want the same superpower. Thank you so much, Reza.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for having me. It was great talking to you.
Thank you.
Good? Amazing.
Yeah. Was it too simple and too...
It was great. In my opinion, it was great.
Nina.
No, it was great. It was great.
But I think we need to
should ask him. What do you think?
Was it good?
No, I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed?
Yeah.
How much money you going to put in your Bitcoin now?
I have started putting in a little bit.
You've started?
You started? That's good.
Well done. Well done.
Amazing.